What's the deal? What's the deal, YouTube? How's it growing, eh? It's your boy OG Scotty B Legs. And fuck, I look tired, man. Wow. Yeah, get the day off today. Which is kind of nice, actually. I needed it. So I'm gonna just tell you a little bit. When I was homeless, I had this little place in North Van. It was like this here, sort of. It was like a set of steps, so forth. But they were covered in, and it was in this sort of building area, like these stores, and it was a step area. It was covered in, and there was a little doorway. So it was basically like this outdoor closet, and nobody really used it. Like there was a dumpster in front of it and so forth. So I kind of got creative, and I was able to round up some mattresses and some plywood and so forth and so on. And I kind of built a little home kind of thing, like this hidden little closet area. So I could go there at night, and I could go there and I could light some candles. I had a radio, and I could sit there and I could read. I could do my dope and whatever. I would usually, a lot of times when I was, one of the ways I would make money was boosting or doing like professional like shoplifting from stores, right? I had people that would give me orders, and I would go and plus there's a number of items. Booze was a big one, and I was notorious for hitting liquor stores. I was really bad. It's kind of funny because I frequent many of those liquor stores today, and I was kicked out of them for a long time, for a while. But so yeah, I had this little kind of spot that was it was comfortable. I was able to, so what I would do is a lot of times, I'll give you basically a basic day is I would wake up, and I'd usually save myself a paper to get better with. And that's the thing with these opiates and that. It basically you're just running around in circles just to stay normal, really. After so long, you don't really get high anymore. You're just normal. And yeah. So anyways, I would get well, better, and I usually had like some razors and stuff like that, or if I didn't, I would walk into a 7-Eleven and steal those. Like I literally stole everything. It was fucking crazy, but it was like from stores and corporations, and that's how I justified it. I didn't really steal from people per se. Like I didn't really rip off cars and stuff like that, but whatever. Stealing, it's not right. But anyways, so I would wake up, I would get better, and I'd make my way up to the rec center. But say I'd stop into the Salvation Army, and in North and West Van, they're closed. Like a lot of times people in West Van wear their clothes once and then drop them off at the Sally Ann. So they actually happen to have really good clothes there at that thrift shop. And I would go there and basically just change my clothes in the change room and whatever, just get myself a nice pair of clothes and something that's functional. And I would wear like a button, like a long sleeve button up shirt and a belt. And I was super skinny back then. I was really skinny. And then like a t-shirt underneath. So the belt would be like, the shirt would sort of be like this one huge pocket, my whole rib cage around my back and everything, because I'd tuck the shirt in and I'd leave the buttons open so I could throw things in my shirt, and I'd wear a jacket over top, and it would cover it, and I could just walk out and you wouldn't even tell. I'd have both my arms free. And that was one of the ways I do. Or you could just literally walk in with a bag and fill a bag and walk out with it a lot of times. But so I would make my way up to the rec center, and then I would clean myself up. I'd go have a shower, maybe a hot tub or something, and clean myself up a bit, and then come down, and I'd usually go into a Safeway and I'd hit grab a bunch of steaks or cheese. That was always a big seller. And I also would, I had a fence that took these oil of Olay products, which are these expensive sort of makeup and shit. And I would get that stuff, and he would give me a good price for them. So, and I could, I would go into like a Shoppers Drug Mart, and I could come out, with $200 in my pocket, like, so maybe 20 items, right? And that's just from one store, and then I'd throw those in my knapsack and I'd stash it, and I'd go check a liquor store, and usually I could come out with a couple bottles. My record was 8 40-pounders and 60-pounders. I think, I don't recall the exact count, but it was something like 4 60s and 4 40s, something like that. So, and those bottles go for $20-$30 a piece. Yeah, so I would do okay actually when I would go boosting, but sometimes you don't. But so for the most part I did, and but I got caught too, right? And that's what I did a lot of my time for, was these petty theft unders. But yeah, so I'd come, yeah, and I'm still in North Van, so I'd sort of make my way down to the C bus, and I'd hop on the C bus. Wouldn't pay for it. Hop on the C bus and make my way over to the downtown east side, and I go, and there's like a little economy there, and I'd go find my fences and whatever, and get rid of all my shit, and then I'd have like a couple $100, and then I would take that, and if I owed money, I would go to that guy who I owed money to. I'd pay him, and then cuff more dope, and then start selling dope on the block, or I would go buy my own dope and start flipping it on the block or whatever. And I basically, I was, yeah, I was a straight up junkie, man. I sold dope to do dope. I didn't fucking necessarily want to get rich out of it or anything like that. The more dope I sold, the more dope I did, and it just, yeah, that's basically how it boiled down. So, I mean, I did okay, but I never was like driving around in big fancy cars or anything, right? Like, not when I was downtown. When I sold coke in North Van, like as a kid, when it was like powder, I had a bit of money and stuff then, but that was a different time. Yeah, so I'd make my way downtown, and I'd end up, just start hustling and doing my shit down there. And, by the time the night came, I'd either, I would run off with somebody and go do my dope with her or whatever, or just that kind of thing, or whatever. I'd make my way back to the little place in North Van, and then I could kind of get out of the downtown and just get some peace and just sort of get away. It was, a lot of people would stay, like, just there's this one chick, man, I remember, she literally stayed in the back alley, in this one little nook in the back alley. That's basically where she stayed, man, like all the time. It's fucking crazy. Like, she hardly ever moved, only to go to the bathroom once in a while, but she just slept there or whatever. It's fucked up. But I used to had to have a bit more security, so I would, yeah, that was basically a day in the life of a homeless junkie in Vancouver for a bit. So hope you enjoyed the story.